Come on in where the fun begins. Let's read a book. Welcome back, guys. The book is getting really good. So let's go ahead and finish Simon B. Rhymin, Chapter 6. I just don't understand how you can play yourself like that. We all know they fake. Aaron hovers above the three of us with his hands raised in the air the way he does whenever an argument gets serious. Not everybody. If you get them from the right store, it's like getting the real thing without having to spend all your allowance money. Marcus tries to convince him. We don't get no allowance money, fool, Deshaun points out. True. Exactly. If you already broke, why spend your little money on some busted sneakers that ain't even the real thing? You just asking for somebody to make fun of you, man. While moms and dad are in the back of the house after dinner, my brothers argue like they always seem to do when we're all in the same room. This time it's about sneakers. Ever since Aaron got his first real job cleaning the floors at Mr. Ray's, he acts like he's better than everybody. And his first pair of Jordan 11s went straight to his head. Bruh, you was just wearing the fakes last year, Marcus points out with a sneaky smirk. Why you acting like them air balls, wasn't your favorite sneakers before you got rich? Deshaun bust out laughing so hard apple juice sprays from his mouth water hose style, soaking the front of Aaron's t-shirt. You lucky I don't like this shirt and Mama's close enough to hear you scream, Sean. I watch all three of them laugh at Aaron's words, knowing he would never actually beat any of us up, even if he wasn't in his new school clothes and new sneakers, even if our parents weren't home. A question pops into my mind that flies out of my mouth before I can stop it. What about the people who don't have any jobs and no house and not many clothes, but they want to look nice like everybody else? Everybody gets quiet. Aaron starts to answer right when Mama walks in with a look we're all scared of. We turn on the TV when she went back to her and Dad's room and forgot to turn it off before she came back out. We didn't hear her coming up the hall like we usually can always hear. None of us knows why we have an extra TV in the kitchen if she almost never lets us use it. Watch it. All of y'all are some fools if you think you're going to have this TV on right now, she says in a calm, scary way. She says things when she wants us to know she's serious. Grabbing the remote, without even really looking down, she turns it off. Mom's sorcery. Room's homework now. On his way out, Aaron tosses Mom's an annoyed look that he knows she won't see. Marcus poses behind her with his hand on his hip, trying to look just like she did when she walked into the kitchen. He stops and runs down the hall in just enough time for her to not catch him. Deshaun don't want no problems, so he's back in our room before both of them. Being the youngest means I can't get away that easy. And before I can get back there too, I have to stick around to tell Moms about my first day. And Aaron? Yes, Mom? My sweet growing boy, please make sure you get in the tub. You smell like rotten apples, son. And you look like you've been sweating for hours. Take care of that. Marcus snickers from down the hall just before closing our bedroom door. You too, Marcus. You don't smell so clean either. That deodorant I bought y'all ain't for decoration. You supposed to use it. Y'all act like you can learn everything from YouTube, but ain't trying to learn that, she screams behind them, knowing that Marcus can still hear her. Through the door, we can always hear Mom's no matter where she is in our apartment. I'm afraid she's going to ask me too much about my teachers and my class and then gag about homework. And I can't just lie and pretend that my teacher didn't hop on his desk, rap about Chicago, and then give us an assignment that's going to have the whole school making fun of me next week. Mom's knows my nostrils get all big when I'm telling a lie. So I decided to be helpful and take the garbage out to the big dumpster near the back alley before she can even try to get me to spill. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom, but I'm really tight with Aaron, Mark, and Sean. We'd always be arguing and joking too, talking about sports and even fake shoes. Being the youngest can be hard sometimes, but they all look after me to see if I'm fine. Between the jokes we be cracking, the laughs we be laughing, the love we all have, yo, that's never lacking. Them, the bros. I plop the heavy bag into the almost full metal dumpster and stand on my tippy toes while I cram the top down onto it. Sometimes being size extra small really stinks. Haha, stinks. Garbage. You get it. Our apartment doesn't really have much of a backyard, but there's this little wooden deck thing that's got a big pile of bikes and old sports equipment left behind by my brothers. I have heartedly kicked a deflated football that has Marcus Barnes written in faded Sharpie on its side. Marcus, Deshaun, and Aaron have no problem getting out in front of crowds of people to play sports, and Aaron is on his high school's debate team, meaning he gets extra credit, basically, for fighting with people on the stage. So why can't I get up and talk in front of anybody? My man, Dad says, walking around from the side door. Are you really out here talking, taking out the trash in this creepy old alley? Dad gives me a look like somebody switched his son out for somebody else. You also didn't have your usual second helping of your mama's lasagna. What's going on, son? Want to talk about it? Most of the time, Dad is pretty busy with work, keeping things together around the house and volunteering around Cretan Park. But he always seems to know when something's up with me. Back when I was in 3rd grade, he once knew I was nervous about a test that was coming up because he saw me wiping off the kitchen table. None of us ever cleaned up stuff in the kitchen unless it's our turn. And wiping down the table after my brothers made a mess of it is the worst. Something happened at school today? Something like that. Got a mean teacher? I need to roll up to the school and check somebody? Nothing like that, Dad, I said, laughing a little at the thought of Dad coming up to the school to yell at my new teacher. For one, my dad's the nicest dude in the whole neighborhood. He's even super serious about how we catch mice and bugs around us, and won't let any of us kill them if we can help it. Secondly, imagining Dad rolling up on the rapping teacher makes me think about when rappers battle each other. He definitely lose to Mr. James. Welcome to the battle called Parents versus Teachers. Kids in the crowd shouting loud from the bleachers. Here's Mr. James with his tie and his sneakers, while Dad wore his work boots and all that couldn't be weaker. James strikes first with a joke in his verse. He calls Dad old and ooh, that one hurts. But Dad comes back with a punch just the same when he calls Mr. James really corny and lame. The crowd goes wild, so Dad's feeling proud, but James has a line that'll take him off his cloud. The score's tied now, but it's coming to an end, So whoever makes the fans go crazy next wins. Let's just say Mr. James doesn't play. When he drops the next bomb on my dad that day, the crowd goes cray, and my dad says, "Hey, this is a great battle that we had, Mr. J. I, I, I got all these raps and rhymes and things to say in my head, Dad. But when it comes time to talk out loud, like at school and stuff, I get too nervous. Like I might throw up on somebody type nervous. And my hands get gross and sweaty, and I feel kind of dizzy, and all the other kids start giving me the side eye, and Dad raises his hand like he's trying to stop traffic in the middle of a super busy street. Maybe he really is. I feel like I'm in a car speeding down a highway headed for a crash next week. Whoa, Simon, whoa. Hold up and breathe, son, Dad says, smiling and putting his arm around my shoulder. It makes me feel the same way when Mom squeezes my hand. Not in public, obviously. And this time we aren't in the school parking lot. We're alone in the alley by ourselves, so I guess Notorious D.O.G. can let this slide. What's this all about? Y'all already got some kind of show coming up at Booker T? It's only y'all's first day. No, Dad, but my new teacher, Mr. James, is making us do these oral presentations things, and I got picked to go first. I tell him, feeling like this is partially his fault, I tell him feeling like this is partially his fault. It's because of you that my last name is Barnes, forever cursed to be called first. Ha! That rhyme. Oh, snap. What's it got to be on? He said something timely, something important going on in Creighton Park. This is already getting old. I shrug and shake my head, looking away, half wishing how sad I'd look would make my dad feel sorry enough to do my assignment for me. I lay on the Simon's sad face extra thick. And you get to pick your topic? Yeah. That's tight. Sometimes Dad tries to be cool and uses slang when I just want him to save me from school. Dad, did I ever tell you about my 8th grade talent show? You were in a talent show? My dad's great, but he's not exactly the talent show type. He's a mechanic who repairs air conditioning and heating systems around the city. If anybody asked any of us, we'd all say his greatest talent is fixing anything broken around the house. But getting up on stage to sing or dance, nah, not Dad. Yup. Me and your uncle Richie decided we'd sing the song from this popular TV show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You ever seen it? Yeah, Mom makes me watch it with her sometimes. He's the one with all the funny hats who went to live with his rich uncle, right? He had to wear one of those nerdy uniforms to school, and he turned the jacket inside out, right? The more I think about it, the more I remember how cool I thought the theme song was, wishing I could rhyme like that. That's right, that's the one. Your Uncle Richie was supposed to handle the singing, and I was going to do all some kind of crazy basketball tricks. Harlem Globetrotter style, you know. Dad laughs. I knew he didn't get up there to sing. That would have been tragic. Still, imagining Dad on stage spinning multiple basketballs at the same time, the way he once told me that group did, still seems like a bad joke. Are you serious right now, Dad? Oh, yeah. We had these matching tracksuits and everything. Thought we were fly and were going to impress all the ladies. The thought of Dad trying to impress all the ladies is the weirdest thing. Gag. Move along, Dad. Hey, I got your mom, didn't I? Come on. All right. Anyway, long story short, the talent show was a mess. Richie forgot the words to the song, even though he had sung it a million times. I dropped two basketballs off the stage, one of which hit our principal in the face and broke her glasses. Hilarious. Miss Berry would throw a whole fit if somebody hit her in the face with a basketball. Dad put his hand over his forehead, like he can still feel the embarrassment. For real? So what happened then? Nothing. And that's my point, Simon. Richie and I got up there and embarrassed ourselves, but nobody cared. By a few days later, everybody at school was already talking about something else. So you see, there's nothing to be scared of, son. You'll get up in front of the class and you do your thing. You'll be okay. Dad put his hand out to shake mine. Yeah, but maybe you're right, I guess. I'm not sure if I really mean it or not, but Dad has a way of at least making me feel like I won't be the first person in history to embarrass myself. I still can't believe he and Uncle Richie actually tried something like that in front of the whole school. Never mind their class. Maybe I have some of that in me. So what's your topic gonna be on? Your mom told me to ask you about this, but don't tell her I told you, he says, and his eyeballs me so I don't rat him out. He always on a mission for my mom, and a lot of times it kind of works. Well, you know Sonny, the guy who's always sweeping our street. I don't think he has any real place to live. He got me thinking about all the homeless people in Critton Park, I say. But that's as far as I've gotten. All the people without homes in Critton Park. You might be on to something, son, Dad says, patting my back and looking up into the sky. You might be on to something big.